Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. As we know, the 1.34 update dropped for Warzone a few days back, and with it, we were expecting a ton of big weapon adjustments and a lot of meta-changing weapon tuning, right? Long story short, that didn't really end up happening. We got one recoil change to the AUG within the patch notes, but we did also get some stealth changes to certain attachments, which actually changes up the best attachment setups on some of the more popular weapons. And with that, today, we're breaking down the new best loadouts and the best attachment setups after the mid-season update or the 1.34 update. So if you enjoy the video at any point, or if you just find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's go for 4,500 likes on this one. And of course, if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't already subscribed, I am always covering the latest loadout info, news, updates, and everything else going on in COD, so feel free to subscribe to stay on top of all of that. Also, my friends over at G Fuel have bumped up code WhosImmortal to 30% off right now, so if you want to grab anything from the G Fuel site, whether it be a new tub, a shaker cup, a starter pack, anything like that, code WhosImmortal has got you covered. Now, like I said, the weapon tuning in the last update was kind of anticlimactic, sort of lackluster, you know, so the weapon meta itself really isn't all that different, but the attachment meta is, at least to a certain extent. Like for instance, the first loadout we're looking at here is the AUG and the FFAR, because each of these weapons are still incredibly dominant. This is probably the most broken and the most powerful loadout that we have in the game right now, just like all throughout the rest of Season 2 pretty much. But this setup is going to feel a bit different from before. Obviously, the AUG is going to have a bit more recoil than before, but at the same time, because this is a burst weapon, it's still pretty easy to minimize the recoil and sort of, I would say, dial it back. So this weapon is still going to be just an absolute laser beam at the end of the day. And of course, it has some stupid damage, so I would say it's probably still the best weapon in the game, in my opinion, especially because of all the stealth nerfs to the FFAR and certain setups there. Basically now, the takedown barrel is not super useful anymore because it doesn't offer that increased strafe speed, which I thought made it super efficient for running the FFAR as like this mega aggressive assault rifle SMG hybrid almost. Then also the 50 round fast mag was also nerfed. This was probably the most popular ammo attachment, and now the ADS on it is just so slow. I wouldn't recommend using that at all either. So that really takes away from what I would say was one of the most popular loadouts in the game, or at least parts of the most popular loadout in the game on the FFAR. However, the FFAR can still be a beast. You just have to sort of use it as more of a close range rifle only now, I would say. So when it comes to the attachments here, on the FFAR, I am running the agency suppressor. Of course, this one didn't really change all that much. By far, still the best muzzle option at the end of the day. I've also got the reinforced heavy barrel on there. Personally, I was already using this one prior to the update, but like I said, with the takedown barrel really just not being worth it anymore, this is the go-to now for pretty much every single FFAR version. Then I've got the field agent grip on there for better control, pretty standard there. I've got the 38 round speed mag, since the FFAR on this loadout is predominantly used for my close range fights, and I prefer having that ADS speed feeling fast and the reload being pretty speedy as well. Then finally, I've got the Raider stock on there for better mobility too. Then on the AUG, this is pretty much the same setup here. Like I said though, you just have to be more mindful of the recoil control. On here, I've got the agency silencer, the strike team barrel, which does actually still increase the range a bit, so that's definitely the go-to as of now. I've got the field agent grip on there, the 45 round drum, and then the 3x optic as well. Now, for my perks and equipment, recently I've changed up some stuff here. Lately, I've been running double time over EOD because I just don't feel like rockets are playing as big of a role anymore. You still have like the nades, the thermites, the claymores, the C4 and whatnot. So EOD is definitely still viable. I'm just kind of full sending everything right now though. And that double time speed boost I think is just incredible. Then I've got Overkill and Amped. I do switch out Overkill for restock though when I get my second loadout, because I do run the Semtex and the stuns for my equipment, and I do like to be able to sort of replenish those as the game goes on. And by the way, my perks and equipment are the same on all my setups. Then next up, we're looking at the AMAX and the Mac10, another loadout that I've been running since the start of Season 2, even some in Season 1, honestly. And this is a beast of a combination, right? The AMAX has such good power and range, so you've got the medium and the long range engagements covered. And then with my newer Mac10 class, close range fights honestly are so much fun because you can sort of tie in some movement mechanics in there, you know, throw in some slide cancels, some jump slides, some corner peeks, and the Mac10 is just gonna finesse everyone because it's so fast. I love this loadout because it's just so versatile. You can pretty much play into any type of engagement, and you're going to be in good standing because both of these weapons are super consistent and also just some of the best in their class. I would argue the Mac10 is still the best SMG, and the AMAX is probably the #2 rifle right now behind the FFAR, but at the same time, they're also just so different in how they behave, so it's kind of a tough argument there. But either way, like I said, you really can't go wrong with this loadout. Personally, I absolutely love it. So on the AMAX, really nothing new here. I'm rocking the monolithic suppressor, the Zodiac barrel for the best range and control, the Commando foregrip for even better control, the 45 round mags, then also the VLK 3x optic alongside the T-pose reticle. Then on my Mac10, my new setup consists of the agency suppressor yet again, the reinforced heavy barrel for better range and velocity, the Tiger Team spotlight over a grip because this just makes the mobility insanely fast, and frankly, the recoil is super easy to control anyways, so you don't necessarily have to have a grip on there. Then I've also got the 53 round drum on there, and then finally the Raider stock for better mobility as well, making this setup extremely fast. Moving on, after that we've got the M16 and the Bullfrog, kind of in an off-meta loadout. I know that doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but the M16 and the Bullfrog really aren't at the very top of the meta right now, but they're each still incredibly good. I mean, the M16 is just behind the AUG and TTK. It is actually a lot easier to use in theory in terms of just overall ease of use. It has better control. The recoil pattern is not as wild, you could say. So it's technically better in certain aspects. So the M16 in and of itself, it can hang. It can definitely compete with a lot of the meta weapons, especially the AUG in a lot of cases. And then the Bullfrog is just such a fun SMG to use because it brings power, it brings speed, it brings range. It's kind of got it all going on, and honestly, I think this is going to be the new meta SMG if and when the Mac10 ends up being adjusted in the future. So to me, the Bullfrog is sort of a sleeper choice right now that honestly, I'm pretty surprised isn't being used more. And these two together offer a lot of diversity in fights. You've pretty much got all ranges covered here, and you can definitely dominate with these in your hand. So on the M16, we've got the agency silencer again, the strike team barrel for better range. Yes, that is still busted here as well. I've got the field agent grip on there, the 45 round mag, the speed version is also solid as well if you want. Then finally, the 3x optic. And then on the Bullfrog, we've got the GRU suppressor, the VDV reinforced barrel, the Spetsnaz grip, the Ember's sighting point for better range and hipfire accuracy, then also no stock. This is again, like I said, a very fast setup with some surprisingly good range actually. We also have a couple of sniping loadouts right now that are pretty solid. The first one is built around the FFAR and the Car. The FFAR build here is a tad bit different since you're using it in a lot more gunfights. Obviously, the Car on this loadout is your long range option. You're not going to be using that in the vast majority of your close range fights unless you've just got an insane shot. You're just cracked at Warzone like my friend Justin. He is taken, by the way. But yeah, this loadout is nothing new as far as the combination goes. Two of the most popular weapons in one class. It's a ton of fun to run, and then it's also just super efficient as well. So on the Car, I've got the monolithic suppressor, the 27.6-inch barrel for the best range, the tac laser for better speed and stability, the sniper scope with the cross-thread reticle, then also the comb stock to round things out. And then on the FFAR, the only change here is just swapping out the 38 round fast mag for the 50 round mag. Keep in mind, not the 50 round fast mag, just because I feel like having that extra ammo makes it a bit more versatile in the sense that you can engage more with it close range. You don't necessarily have that sort of backup option like you would on the AUG loadout, so to me that extra ammo actually does come in handy. Then finally for today, we've got the Tundra and the Modern Warfare MP5, two weapons that are incredibly consistent yet again. The Tundra is the best long-range sniper in the game, and it just got a whole lot more versatile thanks to the stealth changes. Then the Modern Warfare MP5 has been a beast since day one. Maybe not the most overpowered SMG per se, but certainly very viable in the current meta. So on the Tundra, I'm rocking the RAP suppressor, the combat recon barrel, the 3x scope or the 4x scope. Neither of those are going to have glint, so that's a huge bonus on there. I've also got the 7 round mag, and I now run the Serpent Wrap, which actually increases your ADS speed a bit. That was a big issue before. The Tundra always felt pretty slow compared to like the HDR, the AX50, especially the Car and the SPR. But now because you can increase that ADS speed with the wrap, since they do sort of work as intended, it feels a lot better in my mind. Definitely a very big fan of it there. And then on the Modern Warfare MP5, same old, monolithic integral suppressor, the 5mm laser, the Merc foregrip, the 45 round mag, and the icon itself, the Stippy Grippy. So yeah, there you have it. With all of that being said, those are the new best loadouts and best attachment setups to run after the mid-season update, and that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, or if you just found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here and you want to stay up to date with everything going on in COD, whether it be news, intel, updates, tips, you name it, it's all right here. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.